Well, we haven't been doing real good as far as putting out videos every week, have we? And I know everybody's been asking about Hamish and Kylo and how they're doing and things like that. You know, in my, well, pretty much everybody's normal answer when you say, how are you doing? You know, oh, I'm fine, thanks. You know, that's everybody's typical answer. And that's what I normally give, you know, when somebody asks me, hey, how's Hamish and Kylo doing? Oh, they're fine. Truth is, they're not really fine. Kylo is still having trouble with his leg. He doesn't want to get around nearly as much as he used to. You know, I think he's hurting a lot of times, even though he's on pain medication. But I need to get him back up to tech, get him to take another look at him. You know, I don't want him to be in pain or, you know, not be able to get around if we can do something about it. Hamish also needs to go back. He's doing fairly well. That this growth here on his cheek is growing back some, and I just want to check or have him checked to see if it is a return of the lump jaw or if that's just a manifestation, I guess, of the disease. You know, ever since we lost Shiloh back in the summer, Hopi and Ripley have really bonded a lot more. You know, they were kind of like brother and sister before, but, you know, they were mostly at odds with each other a lot of the time, you know, just like siblings can be. But, you know, now they seem to stick together fairly well. So I'm glad to see that. The goats are doing good. We had an issue with Bob. Bob is our biggest male goat. We got 2 males. And Bob wound up getting kidney stones back in the summer. If you know anything about goats, you know, kidney stones are extremely dangerous for goats. You know, they can be a killer, honestly, because the urethra on a goat is so tiny that it's hard for him to pass any blockage that might be in there, including kidney stones. So I got up one morning and Bob was screaming fairly bad. You know, you could tell he was in pain, so I went ahead and called the doc. She came out here and, you know, we did a couple of procedures that, you know, fortunately worked. And, you know, Bob's okay again. Well, about 2 weeks after that, he wound up getting kidney stones again. You know, unfortunately, the bad part is that, you know, when we fixed him the first time, we got lucky, basically. We did a procedure where you basically cut the end of his penis off to allow the blockage a little bit more room to be able to get out. You know, it doesn't hurt them, you know, any more than cutting the tip of your penis off would hurt. You know, the only problem with it is you can only do that once because you've only got one tip. So we knew that if it happened again, you know, and we couldn't get the blockage out, that there wasn't anything else that we could do other than very expensive surgery. So we were looking at having to put him down. But fortunately, you know, we got down there and did a few things to him and got him cleared out again within a few hours. So we got really lucky again. But as a result, you know, everybody's diet changed. With the goats, it's kind of hard to separate, you know, everybody's meal, I guess. So when one goat has to have a specific diet, you know, because of its health, then all the other goats are going to go on that same diet. So, which isn't too bad. It's just, you know, we switched from giving anything with sweet feed in it, or molasses, or, you know, high sugar, things like that. We stopped giving them all of that. And now they just get either hay or grass pellets, like orchard grass. We can give them a little bit of Timothy, but we can't give them any alfalfa. Alfalfa's got a high sugar content, things like that. So they're not real happy about not having their sweets anymore. But, you know, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are still trying to play catch up on what happened with us with Facebook. In a nutshell, we lost our business account. It was hacked and taken over. They shut down Hamish and Kyloe's original page, you know, and some people know how it works, some people don't. But in a nutshell, we would get paid a small percentage of advertising fees for the videos that we'd put out. Well, because we went from 250,000 followers down to, you know, 380 some, our channel is no longer monetized. So now that a couple of months have gone by since we lost our business account on Facebook, we've had a opportunity to take a look at our finances and see, you know, what that did to, you know, those. And it hurt bad. We lost probably about 60% of our income. And that's our total income, not just income from Facebook. We lost about 60% of our total income. Unless something, you know, miraculous happens and Facebook decides to give us our page back, there's not a whole lot that we can do about it. You know, like I said, I'd like to take these guys back up to tech, but, you know, I just can't afford it. You know, unfortunately, SafeHaven Sanctuary is also suffering. But it's not like I've got a whole lot of choice about it either. Oh, buddy. You know, we've been trying to get a bunch of stuff done here know, it's kind of tough sometimes when the days are so short, and you know, and I really hate cold weather. I always have. I can't stand cold weather. So between the short days and cold weather and, you know, depression in general, you know, we're just having a tough summer. You know, a lot of people have had a tough summer. You know, we're trying to make the best of it. Do what we can. I do have a piece of good news. You know, thanks to you guys last year, we were able to buy a trailer that we could use to haul these guys off to Virginia Tech and, you know, someplace like that in case we needed to. But we didn't have a truck to be able to pull the trailer with. And, you know, last year I'd borrowed a truck a couple of times and got one of my buddies to take them up there for me. But the whole time I'd had my eye on a truck that a buddy of mine owned. And I really wanted to buy it from him. Turns out it was his girlfriend's truck. And they wound up breaking up, and she got mad at him and took the truck. So I was kind of screwed on that one. And I didn't think I'd, you know, be able to do anything about it. But, you know, fortunately they started acting like adults again and started talking and, you know, work things out. So once they did that, she decided that she really didn't need a truck that big. So she decided to go ahead and sell it to me, you know, which is a blessing. And honestly, the only reason I was able to buy it is because of a dear friend of mine who lives out in California. I'm not going to mention her name because she's a fairly private person. But she's a Hamish and Kyloe fan. She's a follower of the page. And she made it possible for us to be able to afford to buy the truck. Anyway, you know, that's about how things here are going. You know, they've been better, they've been worse. You know, we're getting by, you know. You know, that's about it for now. Well, somebody asked me at the last video, they caught my little comment about Kylo was definitely headed out the door. And they wanted to know what I meant by that. Well, what I meant by that was the farmer that owned Kylo, he was getting ready to move, and because Kylo was so small, he wasn't going to bother taking him with him. He had already made plans to take him out to a processor and have him turned into tiny little T-bones, as he put it. But I got to him first and made him an offer, and, you know, obviously he took it because Kylo's here. Damn boots are coming apart. So at the end of the day, it turned out okay. All right, big boy. Oh. Oh. All right, big guy. I gotta get back up the house. I love you, buddy. I love you. Hey, buddy. You know, everybody always gets upset if I show Hamish without showing Kylo, or, you know, if I show Kylo without showing Hamish. So, I figured I better show you guys both of them while I've got the chance. As you can see, Kylo's doing okay. He's back to being Kylo, I guess. Like I said, that his leg still bothers him. And I'd like to be able to get him back up to tech, you know, and have him checked out. But, you know, I got to be able to afford to be able to do that too. Oh, I know you love your chin done. Gotta do Kylo's chin. That's your spot, isn't it, buddy? Yeah, that's your spot. There, let me do your dosing.